Chapter 1. Ellie the Elephant Can't Sleep. The jungle was quiet. The moon shimmered above the trees and a warm breeze whispered through the leaves. The parrots had tucked their heads under their wings. The monkeys were curled up in their cozy nests. Even the noisy frogs had stopped croaking. But Ellie the Elephant was still awake. She rolled onto her back. She flopped onto her side. She wiggled her big elephant toes. Nothing. She couldn't fall asleep. Ellie sighed and puffed out her cheeks. Why is falling asleep so hard? She peeked over at the other animals who were all snoring softly. This isn't fair, Ellie whispered. I should be dreaming about splashing in the river, but instead I'm just lying here like a sleepy potato. She flopped onto her belly and wiggled her trunk. Maybe if I just try really, really hard, I'll fall asleep. Ellie squeezed her eyes shut and held very still. She waited and waited and waited. But instead of falling asleep, she just got more awake. Ellie groaned. That's it, I need to make myself sleepy. There has to be a way. She sat up and thought very hard. Then her big elephant ears perked up. I know, she said. I'll try counting bananas. That always helps me feel tired. So Ellie closed her eyes and whispered, 1 banana, 2 bananas, 3 bananas. Her tummy rumbled. 4 bananas, 5 bananas. Her tummy grumbled. 6. She sat up straight. Oh no, now I just want a snack. Ellie sighed. Okay, that didn't work, but I have another idea. She wiggled her trunk excitedly. If I get really, really tired, I'll have to fall asleep, right? So I'll just jump like a kangaroo. She stood up on her big elephant feet. She bent her knees, and then, boom! Ellie jumped so high that the jungle floor shook beneath her. The monkeys peeked out from the trees. The parrots flapped their wings. Oops, Ellie blushed. Maybe I'm too good at jumping. She plopped down with a sigh. This is so hard, she whispered. What else makes animals sleepy? She tapped her trunk against her forehead. Then, ding! She had another idea. I know, Ellie smiled. Hummingbirds hum themselves to sleep. Maybe if I hum a sleepy song, I'll finally get tired. She took a deep breath and started to hum. Her hum sounded funny. Ellie tried again. Hum! Her own silly voice made her giggle. She tried one more time, but this time she laughed so hard she fell onto her back. Oh no, she said, giggling so much that she couldn't stop. Now I'm wide awake. She sighed and looked up at the twinkling stars. Nothing is working, Ellie whispered. How do you fall asleep when you just can't? Just then, a soft voice spoke from the shadows. Ellie, why aren't you sleeping? Ellie turned her big elephant head. There, slowly waddling toward her, was her best friend, Tilly the turtle. Chapter 2, Ellie tries different ways to sleep with silly results. Ellie blinked sleepily as her best friend, Tilly the turtle, slowly waddled closer. Tilly? Ellie whispered. Why are you awake? Tilly yawned, stretching her little turtle legs. I heard a big boom and a lot of giggling, and I thought, that sounds like Ellie. Ellie's big ears flopped down. Oh yeah, that was me. Tilly tilted her head. Why aren't you sleeping? Ellie sighed. I tried sleeping, but my eyes just won't stay shut. Tilly nodded very slowly. That is a problem. Ellie sat up. But don't worry, Tilly, I've been trying everything to make myself sleepy. Tilly smiled. Oh, like what? Ellie took a deep breath. First, I counted bananas, but then I got hungry. Tilly giggled. That does sound like a problem. Then I jumped like a kangaroo, but I jumped too high, and I think I made the jungle shake. Tilly's eyes widened. Oh my, Ellie groaned. And then I hummed like a hummingbird, but I made myself laugh. Tilly chuckled softly. Ellie, those are all very silly ways to fall asleep. Ellie flopped onto her back. I know, and none of them worked. Tilly thought for a moment, then she smiled. Ellie, maybe you don't need to do anything at all, Tilly said. Ellie sat up fast. What? But I have to do something. That's how problems get fixed. Tilly shook her head. Not this time. Sometimes the best way to fall asleep is to just be cozy, quiet, and calm. Ellie's trunk wiggled. But how do I do that? Tilly smiled softly. Let me show you. She slowly waddled closer and wrapped her little turtle arms around Ellie's big, soft trunk. A hug always makes me feel safe and sleepy, Tilly whispered. Ellie blinked. A hug? Tilly nodded. A hug. Ellie thought for a moment. Then she closed her eyes and hugged Tilly back. And something amazing happened. Ellie's big, floppy ears felt warm. Her wiggly trunk felt still. Her whole body felt soft and heavy, like a fluffy cloud. Ellie yawned. Tilly smiled. See, that's step 1. Ellie's eyes fluttered. Step 1, she whispered. Tilly nodded. Yes, and now step 2. a soft lullaby. Tilly closed her eyes and began to hum, so quietly, so gently. Mmm. Ellie blinked slowly. Her big elephant ears drooped, her trunk curled up, cozy and warm. And then Ellie yawned again. A big, sleepy elephant yawn. Chapter 3. Ellie's best friend has a secret. Ellie's big, sleepy yawn echoed softly through the jungle. Tilly smiled. See? You're getting sleepy already. Ellie blinked slowly. Her eyes felt heavy, but she was still awake. She shook her head. I do feel a little tired, but I don't think I'm ready to sleep yet. Tilly nodded patiently. That's okay. Sometimes sleep takes a little time. Ellie flopped onto her side. But how does sleep happen? How do you fall asleep so fast, Tilly? Tilly gave a tiny turtle shrug. I don't try to sleep. I just get cozy, quiet, and calm. That's my secret. Ellie tilted her head. That's it? Tilly nodded. That's it. A hug makes me feel warm and safe, and a soft lullaby helps my eyes close all by themselves. Ellie wiggled her toes. So, I don't have to jump or hum or count bananas? Tilly chuckled. Nope. Ellie thought very hard about this. But what if my brain doesn't want to be quiet? She asked. Tilly gave her a wise little turtle smile. Then you just listen to something soft and gentle, like the sound of the jungle at night. Ellie perked up her big elephant ears. She listened. The trees rustled in the soft wind. The crickets chirped a sleepy song, the river bubbled gently in the distance, and Tilly started humming again, softer than before. Ellie's big ears drooped again, her trunk curled up, her whole body felt warm and still. She yawned. Whoa, Ellie whispered. I think it's working. Tilly giggled quietly. Told you so. Ellie snuggled into her bed of leaves. Maybe you do have the best secret, Tilly. Tilly smiled. It's not a secret anymore. Now it's yours too. Ellie sighed happily. She was finally starting to feel really sleepy. Chapter 4. The Perfect Bedtime Routine. Ellie's big, sleepy eyes blinked slower and slower. Her ears felt warm and floppy. Her trunk curled just right. She let out a soft sigh. Tilly's humming was so gentle, so quiet, like a little boat floating on a calm river. Ellie listened carefully. She could hear the rustling leaves swaying in the breeze. She could hear the crickets singing their sleepy song. She could hear the river bubbling softly in the distance. Everything sounded so peaceful. Ellie yawned again. Her whole body felt soft and heavy, like a big sleepy cloud. Tilly gave her one more warm turtle hug. See? Tilly whispered. Now you're cozy, quiet, and calm. Ellie smiled sleepily. Yeah, her eyes fluttered shut for a moment, then slowly opened again. But Tilly, Ellie whispered. What if I wake up in the middle of the night? What if I still can't sleep? Tilly giggled softly. Then you just do the same thing again. Hug something soft, listen to the quiet, and let your body feel safe and cozy. Ellie nodded slowly. That sounds nice. Tilly snuggled down beside her. And I'll be right here, just in case you need another lullaby. Ellie felt safe. She felt warm. She felt so sleepy. Her big ears drooped. Her trunk stopped wiggling. Her eyes closed and stayed closed. Tilly smiled. Sweet dreams, Ellie, she whispered. Chapter 5. Ellie finally falls asleep. The jungle was so quiet now. The trees whispered in the soft wind. The crickets hummed their sleepy tune. The river bubbled gently in the distance. And right in the middle of it all, Ellie the Elephant was finally asleep. Her big ears were soft and still. Her trunk curled up just right. Her little elephant feet barely wiggled as she snuggled into her bed of leaves. She let out one last deep sigh. She started to snore. Snore! Tilly smiled. She watched as Ellie twitched her toes in her dreams. Maybe she was dreaming about splashing in the river, or chasing fireflies through the trees, or floating on a soft, fluffy cloud. Whatever it was, she looked happy. Tilly gave one last tiny yawn. She snuggled down beside her best friend, tucked her little turtle legs under her shell, and closed her eyes too. The jungle stayed quiet. The stars twinkled softly, and soon, Tilly was fast asleep too. The night wrapped around them like a big warm hug, and in the peaceful jungle, two best friends slept soundly. Until the morning sun rose again. The end.